What's up everyone? Nate here with Microgreens Farmer. I hope you guys are doing all right and managing through this health and economic crisis we're going through here worldwide. I know it's a challenging time for many microgreens farmers, especially people who are selling to restaurants, farmers markets. Very challenging times. There is a slight silver lining in this, in that some farmers are seeing their sales go up, specifically ones that are focused on home delivery. So that's what I wanted to bring you in today's video, is an interview with one of my students whose sales have jumped 30% without him doing any extra advertising during this these most recent turn of events, and he's focused on home delivery from the get-go. I've been trying to push more and more people into this model of running their business for years now, and now is a really great time to do it because a lot of people are really looking for that. So I wanted to share this interview with you, and I've also got a special webinar going on right now all about home delivery programs and getting that going. I'll put a link to that below this video so you can check that out, but I hope you enjoy this video. Cool. Well, I just wanted to get you on here in the midst of this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic we're going through.
Yeah.
To talk about basically like one of the opportunities that's actually being presented for people to focus on home delivery and serve their community in that way. And I think it's a really interesting time that we're meeting. Today is Friday, March 27th, and I was looking at this world meters. I've been kind of following the coronavirus cases, and the US now has the most cases of any country in the world.
Wow.
And yesterday our cases went up by 17,000. Like, I think fairly soon we're going to have like twice as many cases as any other country in the world.
Wow.
So it's a huge deal here where we are in the United States.
Yeah.
Like the second greatest increase of any country was Spain. Theirs went up by like 8,000. Ours went up by 17,000 yesterday. So this is a huge deal, and this is going to be like hanging around for a while here in this country.
Yeah.
And it's going to change consumer behavior immediately. It already is big time, and possibly for years to come. And one of the big components of that change in consumer behavior is food security. And another big change is people realizing how important health is and having a healthy immune system.
Yep.
So I think, microgreens can be part of this story. And what you're doing is proving to be valuable because you're seeing an increased demand right now. So that's kind of just laying the groundwork for what I want to talk about. And why don't you just kind of give us a quick summary of what you've been seeing, what's been going on in your world?
Sure. So, I mean, a few weeks ago, it didn't even seem like it was a big deal. It was just in other countries. It was just, starting to get over here. Then, I feel like it was so quick. All of a sudden, boom, it hits the United States. It's all over, all 50 states. Apparently, New York City is the worst city out of all of them, which is right near me. And then on Long Island, which is the island right next to the city that I'm on, of all the towns, my town actually has the most cases, Huntington. So it's pretty weird over here, pretty sketchy. But I've been trying to do my part, social distancing and all that good stuff. But yeah, definitely changes in consumer behavior. I noticed right away, like obviously everybody going out and hoarding supplies, hoarding toilet paper. The seed companies right now, I know for a fact, are very overwhelmed. They, because all the preppers and those type of people, they're just buying all their seeds right now, so they have supplies to last them. So it's very, very interesting. But on the bright side, my business has actually picked up. I was looking at my numbers. I'm up over 30% in the past 30 days, and that's a big deal. So yeah, very interesting. I noticed a few people got scared and dropped off, but those are the people who really aren't able to make it through their package every week anyway. So it's kind of like weeding out those people. Then new people are coming in for, like you said, two reasons. One, because of just food security. The way my business is set up, I'm growing the food and I'm delivering it right to their door. So that's a great option for right now. Especially like we were trying to order from Whole Foods and get it delivered, and it was saying like, hey, we can't even fill orders for another 2 days, so we never placed the order. It's a problem. So it's a great business model for this type of situation. And then the other reason is obviously for health purposes. So humans have a tendency to wait until the last minute always, when, wait till crisis happens. So everybody is now like, oh, I remember that guy Don was growing those healthy microgreens. Let me, find his website and jump on in, or ask my friend who was already buying from him. So in the past week, I've had probably 10 people come through my site, new customers. So that's an amazing thing. Then in addition to that, something interesting happened that I was not anticipating. My distributor partner, basically the way their business works is they source food from all local farmers as well as some really high quality products. And their customers will go onto their website, order whatever they want, but they can order from all these different places at once. And then this company will drop it all off in one bag to one drop-off location. So those sales were typically maybe on average $150 a week through this distributor. And in 1 week, it was like, boom, the sales flew through the roof, and went from $150 a week to now is like $750 a week. And I'm only growing what I estimate they're going to take. So obviously I didn't grow, I wasn't prepared for that spike, but luckily they take their order on Monday and Wednesday. So it's kind of spaced out a little bit. And I have 4 delivery days and harvest days. So I was able to take any extra that I had from all my harvesting days and give it all to them. And I was actually able to fill the whole order every time, even though it was dozens of items over what we're used to. So that's exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's some of the stuff that I'm feeling over here.
Okay. And I jumped into it a little too quick and forgot to introduce you. So I just want to make sure you've been in a couple other videos of my channel, but this is Don DeLillo. You're in Long Island, Huntington, New York. Don's Finest Foods, and you have also a brand, Donnie Greens, that has a YouTube channel by the same name, right? Donnie Greens?
Yep, Donnie Greens is kind of like my personal brand. That's how I envision myself, like helping other microgreens farmers and educating and all that stuff.
Yep. He's got a bunch of great videos already out on his channel, and Don joined my course several years ago, and I've got lots of successful students, but the majority of the successful students are focused on restaurants, and you're one of the few that has really focused on home delivery. So that's why I love having you on here, because that is what I've been trying to keep pushing people towards, like the last few years, because I think it's one of the best models. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to have you on here today, because this home delivery is becoming even higher in demand. And it's a great time to offer it if people have the ability right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
One other interesting thing I've been thinking about is, a lot of people are going out to the grocery store and they're stocking up on dried goods, they're stocking up on food, but produce is one of those things that's perishable, so it runs out pretty quick, and people don't want to keep having to go out into stores. It just feels like you're going out into like a petri dish of germs, so they don't want to keep having to run to the grocery store. So that's probably one other reason why just delivery of perishable goods, of produce, is in such high demand right now, because people can be stocked up on all their dry goods, their beans, rice, their cans of tuna, whatever, but they want to get that vegetable nutrition. They want to get the freshness of vegetables every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And microgreens are great because they're so high in vitamins and antioxidants, and it's just a great way to regulate your immune system and boost it up.
Yeah. It's all concentrated. It also, in scenarios like this where you're probably hoarding a lot of food, it also doesn't take up a lot of space in the fridge because they're small plants with concentrated nutrition. So that's another benefit.
Yeah. Are people who are contacting you now to get signed up, these new customers that are coming in, are they mentioning why they want to sign up? Are they mentioning this coronavirus stuff?
Well, I don't really have like, I probably should put this like some sort of like, hey, why are you signing up? Or how did you find out about me on the sign up form? But so I don't have that. So I don't really know. But based on prior experiences and the way things have been going in general for my business, I know that this is all 100% Corona related.
Yeah.
So they're definitely getting scared about where their food is going to come from, their, their health and their nutrient intake. So yeah.
Yeah. Is anyone expressing concerns about your sanitation practices, asking about that at all?
Yeah. So I had probably 2 customers reach out so far saying like, hey, Don, I was just thinking about this. Do you use gloves when you're harvesting your wheatgrass? And, it's funny because I'm already so focused on sanitation in here. It's on my mind every second I'm in my farm. So, before we started recording, I was actually joking around saying that now everybody in the world is feeling how I have felt for the past 3 years working.
Yeah.
The whole, what was the last thing my hands touched thing? So yes, obviously we're using gloves when we're harvesting and making trays and all that stuff. So I haven't actually had to change my procedures or guidelines really all that much just because they're already so strict. One thing that I've done, and actually it wasn't even my request, my driver just started doing it on her own. She asked me for a box of gloves, and she uses gloves when she touches a new, like a customer's cooler. She'll like use gloves and swap them out. And then she's also wearing a mask. So these are things that she kind of did on her own, which I think are great. But yeah, so two people have really asked so far, and I just give them, my honest response, which is pretty similar to what I just said.
Yep. And again, the focus is on home delivery, and a lot of farmers right now are doing home delivery or offering CSA shares, and they're selling out very quickly. But one of the great things about microgreens is that you can get them not only just on a CSA program, but you can get them on a subscription program, like a year-round, ongoing, continuous subscription program. So you said your sales are up like 30%. These are customers that, their order doesn't drop off after 8 weeks or after 6 weeks. It's going to continue on as long as they stay on. This could be customers that you acquire for years. I mean, you might have a little bit of a drop off if things really level out or reduce, but you might lose 10%,
Yep.
15%, but still be bumped up from where you started. So I think that's a huge opportunity here with microgreens too, is to not only get them on a CSA program, not only give them on a delivery program, but to get them on a subscription delivery program.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm hoping that these customers stay on. I know that they're scared right now and coming on right now for situational reasons, but I'm hoping like instilling the trust where like I was able to come through for them in hard times. And then, obviously they're going to be enjoying the products. Like most of my customers, hopefully they'll stay on over time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, several of them probably don't have experience using microgreens on an extremely regular basis,
Right.
Just the next couple of months, they're going to get used to incorporating these things into their everyday meals. And when they see how easy it is, and how delicious, they're going to love it and want to stick on.
Exactly.
Do you want to talk a little bit, just kind of give us the rundown of what your delivery subscription programs are like, just kind of how it works, the overview?
Yeah, so very simply, people can sign up via text, email, phone call, but preferably they would sign up on my website. It's a very simple website I built on Wix. There's not even any e-commerce on the website. It's really just a form that I put as a sign-up page. So they'll fill out their information for me, name, cell phone, email, address, and what they want me to grow for them. So that order, once they submit it, it gets sent to my email. I can put them into my Excel spreadsheet and start growing for them. Luckily, I typically have a little bit extra every week, so I'm able to usually start people up that week. They get an email just letting them know that they're going to have to leave a cooler the day of every delivery. That's where we drop off into just to keep it safe. And they get billed every morning of their delivery via, I use a program called Square. You can use that for point of sale and invoices. So I use that for recurring invoices, and they just store their card on file. They get billed automatically the morning of each delivery. So I have a few harvesting and delivery days. We harvest the day before, everything, all the different items that they get harvested. Then we pack them into the orders, load them into the fridge. They stay in there overnight. Then the next morning they get unloaded nice and cold into coolers, and my driver goes and drops them off to people's homes.
Cool. And do they have multiple different products they can choose from, or do you have kind of standardized package? I know the answer to this, but just for everyone else.
Yeah, for me, so my business structure is like they can order a la carte. So any products that I offer, they can just put into their order and I'll grow it for them, and they can get it every week. It's free delivery on orders $20 and up. And most people like the Sunny Sampler box, which is my top selling item. Pretty much every single person who signs up, they start with a Sunny Sampler and usually stick to a Sunny Sampler too. So it's a $20 item, a little bit of everything all in one box. It makes it very easy for a new individual who isn't really experienced in these different varieties to just say, hey, this is a good starter item. Let me buy that. Get that delivered every week. Variety of flavors, variety of nutrients.
Okay. And do you have a defined delivery area? Is that something that you have on your website where people can see? Is this something that's expanded over time? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's definitely expanded over time. When I first started out, it was one harvest day and one delivery day. I think that was a Monday harvest, Tuesday delivery. I was doing North Shore, and then I would go down to the South Shore and do that route. Then over time, I run out of fridge space, and there's only so much you can do in one day. So whenever my route gets to about $1,000 for the day in revenue, I'll split it. And then at that point, your route actually gets more efficient because, so at this point I was doing North Shore deliveries on a Tuesday and then South Shore deliveries on a Thursday. So it's more efficient driving. And then over time, it splits and splits and splits. And now I'm in very, all over the place. So it's not specifically concentrated to any area for deliveries. It started off in my local area just because I started off growing my business with farmers markets. You're typically attracting local people. So that kind of just worked out in and of itself. Yeah, so it's expanded, and I supply products in a good chunk of the island. But if people sign up and they're too far east or too far west into the city, I'll just say, hey, sorry, I'm not delivering over there. You can pick up your products at this health food store that's the closest to you, and I'll add you to my wait list.
Very cool. For anyone watching this, I think we discussed it on a previous YouTube video that I posted. It's called Microgreens Mastermind. We talked about, there's several different ways you can structure these things. Like Don's doing the a la carte system where they can kind of choose and customize their orders. But when we offered delivery programs, we had just a set dollar amount. They would sign up for, $20 a week or $40 a week or whatever. And then we would choose the varieties, and we would just switch them up every week so they got different varieties, and we would give them recipe cards so they could try out the different varieties. So there's lots of different ways you can structure this, and we're looking to relaunch our program right now. I've got a big seed order in that's been delayed that I'm waiting on.
Yeah.
But our new strategy going forward is going to be to offer one product essentially, and we're going to try reusable containers. There's still a couple logistical issues I'm thinking about that could kind of sabotage that plan. We'll see. But basically, it's going to be a diverse mix of microgreens, and it's sort of like a CSA in a way where if we have 20 customers for a Friday delivery, we'll be harvesting 20 trays, harvesting them all into one bin, like giving them a slight tumble mix. We might be using one of those portable composters or home composting bins people use, and they tumble.
Yeah, okay.
And then just divvying them out into 20 portion sizes, that same amount. So, basically each person's getting one tray, but it's then all mixed together.
Interesting.
So it'll be one product. And I think it'll make it really easy to operate the business and to scale the business as needed. So there's so many different ways you can do this. I suggest people just kind of think about their own situation and get creative and innovate on it if you want to.
Yeah.
But incorporating technology is a key part of this. You know, having a website where people can sign up, having subscription buttons, or like Don, they're already registered in his Square program, and then what do you just click a button then to charge them each time?
No, it actually goes through automatically. So I set what day that they're going to get charged, and it goes through automatically at 10 o'clock on their delivery day.
Okay. So getting people set up in a program like that, and then these payment programs you can tie right into your bookkeeping. So harnessing technology is really important with this stuff. And then the final component is marketing them. So do you want to talk a little bit what you've done in the past to market this program, and if anything's changed with this recent virus pandemic?
Yeah. So marketing started at the farmers markets, just talking and meeting people, collecting their emails. I've done like posting in Facebook groups, and then on my Instagram page, I was pretty diligent in posting just, a bunch of content, pictures, and all that good stuff. I've since kind of taken a break from it. I haven't been really posting actively on my feed on Instagram for Finest Foods, but I have been active on the stories, and people like watching the stories every day. So that's been fun. And that's how I'm doing most of my marketing now. People are seeing it on the stories, and then I'm also pushing that story over to my Facebook. So people are seeing it on my Facebook, even on my personal page, like literally my personal story is now mainly business. So now these people who just know me in general and we're friends, they're seeing things that I'm doing in my farm. And it's not like, hey guys, like buy my stuff. It's really not like that at all. It's just like what I'm harvesting today, or like, look at all the deliveries going out. I did something recently that I recently started growing borage for the first time, and I'm obsessed with it. I think it tastes amazing. I think it's super cool, fuzzy and everything. So I was like, all right, let's do an adventures of borage. So I did through the life cycle, just day 1, day 2, day 3, so people can see how it grew. And just by posting that content and showing what I'm doing in the farm and getting people excited about new varieties and stuff, people are then, commenting and saying, hey, when is that available? Or yeah, I need to sign up, and they'll go sign up. But yeah, other than that, I haven't done too much marketing, to be honest. I've had my focus on other things. Honestly, I'm working on a few different projects, but I think it's a perfect opportunity right now to be talking about, health purposes and food security and self-sustainability and, all that stuff, and using that as marketing tactics to drive sales to your business.
Yep. So you've been doing this for how many years now? When did you get started?
Back in like the end of 2016. So I'm like 3.5 years in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It really does.
So you've been doing this for quite a while, and you've been posting pretty consistently on social media for a great portion of that time. So you've been building awareness for years now.
Yeah.
So it's just natural that you don't need to do much with this recent outbreak to let people know that you exist. A lot of people already know you exist, and so you've just seen a natural rise in your sales.
Yeah.
I've got several microgreens students who weren't offering home delivery. They were just focused on restaurants or just focused on farmers markets, who are putting out special posts. They're putting out more social media posts, changing up their strategy towards home delivery.
Yeah.
And, so they just put out a simple post on Facebook, put all the pictures of your products, and just let people know that you're offering home delivery, and ask them to share. And I'm seeing people getting so many shares on their posts. One of my students had like 30 shares. A local farmer that I know here in town, Michael, he posted some pictures. He sells tons of vegetables. He sells meat, eggs, everything. He had like 45 shares on his post when he mentioned he was doing home delivery now.
Awesome.
So it's a great time to really get the word out if you haven't.
Yeah, people definitely want to help each other. So if somebody hears about this amazing service that's being offered, they're going to share it. And also people are scared, and a lot of people don't really know what to do, and they don't feel secure. So another thing that I've been doing is if somebody asks me, like we talked about before, about like if I'm wearing gloves and what I'm doing about the virus, I'll actually take a screenshot of our little conversation and I'll put it on my story and say something like, "Don't worry, people, like I won't let you down," and stuff like that. So you're kind of making yourself out to almost appear as like almost like a hero, and you are kind of in a way, and you're helping people. So when people see you, you know, taking care of other people and saying that like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to let you down," they kind of, you know, since people are scared, they want that help too. So that's another really good thing to post, and something that I've never really done before, taking screenshots of conversations and posting, but that has actually been working really well and instilling a lot of trust. I've seen orders come in specifically because of those posts.
That's very cool. Oh man, it's just crazy times we're living in right now with this
Yeah,
thing, you know? This could go on for quite some time.
definitely. But I mean, I think it's also, it's, this is also what entrepreneurship is all about. It's having things happen and then pivoting and adjusting and using them to your advantage. Like honestly, like I lucked out in a way because I specifically focused on home deliveries. I mean, in the first place, I was looking for resilience. I wanted to be in control of every aspect of the whole system. So I'm not using, you know, a delivery service. I actually have an in-house driver and all that stuff. So there's resiliency built into it. Um, but I did luck out in a way by focusing on that. But
Yep.
I mean, I don't know where I was going with that thought. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, it sparks something interesting I've been thinking about is, you know, running a business, you think about what are my expenses, what are my revenues, and then what am I left with? What's my profit? And most people take that profit and they pull all of it off the top and they live off of it, you know, the entrepreneur typically, or you have a lot of profit, you're able to give your employees raises and make their lives better.
Right.
But one thing most business owners don't think about is uh, hard times, dry times when things can get really challenging. You know, you hear from financial experts all the time that they recommend we have an emergency fund, personal in our personal accounts. You know, like at least 6 months of living expenses.
Right.
Well, every business should have that as well, so you can sustain during a hard time. So that's the cost of doing business, and we need to really think about that and build that into our pricing, you know, and have a savings account for times when things get really tough, so we can keep our employees on board, we can keep our families safe. Um, you know, I just was really thinking about yesterday because they keep talking about this true $2 trillion bailout thing, and it's like, you know, don't any businesses realize that things can get really bad? You know, we need to actually build that cost into our pricing, so we don't have to have these crazy government actions where they come in and bail everyone out, and then everyone's on the hook to pay them back over time. And
Yeah, and then we're living in a bubble. I think it's a huge problem. Instead of like creating a problem and then trying to fix it, like let's just fix it in the first place and be resilient on our own.
yeah,
But yeah, and then on the other side of resilience in situations like this, forming a resilient business, I think there's opportunities to take advantage of the situation too. This is where I was going with the thought before, because I'm getting phone calls from people. I'm in a networking group called the Long Island Food Council, and I'm getting phone calls from the president. They're working on different things, different distribution models. He said that there's this company who's been distributing, you know, hundreds of boxes all over the New York area, and that they're looking for new vendors now because of the situation. Everything's all wacky, and situations like this, and pivoting and forming new alliances in these situations can lead to, you know, lifelong relationships and even new opportunities that can be really solid. So if I get in with this new company that's a distribution model, I could be selling, you know, another 30 or 40 Sunny Sampers a week, which would be a tremendous amount of money. So taking advantage of the situation and using it, you know, being smart about it is definitely a good thing to do too.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, why don't we just start to wrap this thing up? Is there anything else you want to share before we finish up today?
Um, I don't know.
I just want people to know, like, you know, we talked about technology. We talked about all these different options. I don't mean to make it overly complex. You can keep this very simple when you start out. You know, just start growing some microgreens, box them up, post what you have available online. You can tell people just to set out a cooler and throw a $20 bill in the cooler. You don't need all the technology to get started. You can get started and then start incorporating the technology, because people need this stuff right now. Like this is in high demand right now. So get going and get your seeds ordered as soon as you can, because there's big demand for seeds right now. There's shipping delays.
Yep.
If you don't have seeds, get your order in as soon as you can. And in my online course, I have a whole module in there about microgreens delivery specifically. I've got the module that I put in several years ago. It's got a bunch of flyers that you can hand out for advertising. And then there's a whole new section at the bottom where I describe in detail the program that we're preparing to relaunch and how we're going to do that, and the reusable containers we're using. And I have free labels in there that you can use, and all that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to check that out if you're interested. I'll put a link below where you can learn more about the course and sign up for a webinar and all that stuff. And I'm working on right now like a new webinar, new presentation, just a very short one, just to kind of help people get going in home delivery if they haven't. So I'll definitely link that below this video as well. And then check out Don's channel, Donnie Greens. I'll put a link for that below this video as well. Sorry about that. I could have sworn I turned my phone on silent. But my mom is calling me. Hi, Mom. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for checking this out. And home delivery, now is the time to get it going if you're interested in it, because people need it big time. Yep. And I just hope everyone watching this is staying safe, doing your part to flatten the curve and all those catchphrases that are flying around now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Don, for being on here and sharing your knowledge with everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Nate. It's always a pleasure working with you. And guys, don't freak out. Like, obviously things are crazy right now, but just take a deep breath and just think critically about how you can use the situation to your advantage and pivot your business to make it more resilient into the future, and so you can keep on growing microgreens and helping people.
Absolutely. All right, take care, everyone.
I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Don. Again, I'm putting on a webinar right now all about home delivery. You can click on the link below this video. And subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment if you have any questions or comments. Put those down below. And thank you so much for checking it out. Talk to you later.